Yo, welcome back to Hype Fan Eagles. This your boy Hype Fan Young Jers, and I just want to have a little quick talk on the Philadelphia Eagles. Just little brush up on little basics that was going on dealing with the quarterback position. But first, I want to say thanks for all the viewers, all the people that have been liking, subscribing, and commenting down with your opinions. Me and my bro highly thankful and grateful for y'all tuning in and just staying in touch with the podcast. So we highly thank you for that. But just not gonna brush you up too much. Just a little brief conversation. Don't get me wrong. I really love Gardner Minshew. I love like what he did the other game. Dealing with the Cowboys last week, but well, really yeah, last week. But what I wanted to say is that even though he did, I won't say he did phenomenal or like he just had one of those ball out games. He did decent for like a backup quarterback to come in. I'm not gonna come at him so much because it is his first game starting back, and he haven't started for like seasons and so you gotta get that rust, he had to get that feel on. It's a new gameplay, a new scheme and system that they try to put around all they try to create for him and like probably for 2 weeks they ain't had probably that much to really I'm pretty sure they did some stuff just in case through practice or how just in case Jalen Hurts do go down and what would be the game plan. But it's still different to actually be in the game and actually, you know, get that flow and get your rhythm going. And I can't get so much on that, but even though he have a reason, it's still stuff that he have to improve and have to get better and to actually recognize. Now, through all his mistakes that he did, he still did a solid game, and that's what tells you his talent. That even through his mistakes that he did with the interception, some people feel like the interception wasn't really fully his fault. I kind of feel like it is, even though the receivers did have their hand and it got you know took it away, but it still was a congested spot that he threw that ball in. To It was a tight window, and then the way he positioned it, he didn't make it towards like only his receivers could get it. He made it towards his receivers and the defender could get the ball. So that's what made the the little issue and the mistakes on there, but he was a part of the mistakes. Watkins could have, hold on to. He had two balls that was taken away from him. He could have strong man hit, like big guy him. Like he could have took it off, took it away. Like he let the ball get. He let baby. Basically, he let them baby him, like grab the ball away from him. Like he got to really get that strength, and aggressive to bring down the ball, just like Goddard did when he threw the ball up and Goddard went up and he snatched it down. He used his strength and he brung it down. But you know, sometimes some receivers is not all that aggressive. Some receivers is different. And you got to know that for your quarterback. You got to know what receivers you could get become do that with to be aggressive. So but I think he was just trying to make a play, but you know it happens, like and I know that he probably understand that now going to the next game. I hopefully he does. But I guess it was the only choice he had at that moment. Now if his feet he had he had his footwork and he could run the ball a little bit more better, he probably could have got some yardage instead of just forcing those passes in. But he not every quarterback can be mobile like that, and that's just not one of his tools and one of his pieces that he has. But given that, he still did a decent game, and And yeah, like I just think that he just need more time to actually be in the game to actually get his feeling going on. Now that game that happened, I it wasn't his fault. He put up enough points to win that. So that's why I couldn't go down. It was mainly the defense, knowing that you got to start a backup quarterback. They, you have to come in, you got to play harder. You got to play. It's one of those games. I know sometimes you don't want to lean everything on you, but sometimes defense got to take a charge when you're in that position, when you got a backup quarterback that just don't have his flow and the rhythm of the team yet. And y'all coming out, and the offense is coming out with a different game plan because, they can get the running game the way that they want to because he's not a running quarterback. So it's going to really put so much on to the offense to actually come up in the less weekends to come up with a game plan to actually get something really to put up those points to win a ball game against a team that could score. So the defense needed to actually play a part and be the reason and step up to win the game, and they let down the offense. You let down everything that they was trying to do on the offense, and they put up on points, which surprised a lot of people. But the defense picked the wrong day to not to show forth and come through. So it was all collective. Yeah, Minshew, he played a part of his mistakes, but it really wasn't big. It was really the defense. But he has some things that he need to grow and progress, and I feel like he got the potential to do it. But is he going to? Who knows? And I think getting to my whole thing, I just had to bring some facts up to make the whole subject meaningful. What the whole thing is that next week going into the Saints game, a lot of questions is going to be on if Jalen Hurts is going to actually start that game, or is Minshew going to start. And I don't know so much how most people feel. I'm hearing some people feel like Jalen Hurts one day we need to get this solidify this number one seed and get at least this one game win, so we could get comfortable in the playoffs. So it's really a hard debate on which way to want to go. Do we really want to put Hurts in so we could be a for sure win, get this number one seed, and get a bye week and get home field advantage? Do we want to just take that route? I'm doing, but if we don't take that route, we're gonna have to trust that Minshew gonna actually win the Saints game, because if he doesn't, if they put Minshew in versus the Saints and he don't win it, then now we're gonna need the Giants game to win. And usually the last game of the season, we usually sits out the starters and put the backup in. We might end up losing that game, the Giants game, and that might put us in a position of not getting that number one seed, and the Cowboys might win out. It might could be that. So it's really hard. That I understand that Hurst is injured with his shoulders. Hurst is well, it's not really, it's something minor. And but you want to make sure he's 100%. And if we put him in, and if he's not fully 100%, it might end up make a little bit things worse. It might not. It might not be that problem. It might be so minor that even if he goes to the Saints game, he's still good. And I understand they want to make sure, they want to be like, yo, the playoffs is important. But if we have that number one seed, we could actually have a good chance of getting into the Super Bowl and actually winning it, and but it's a hard choice to make. You putting two more games left, Saints and then the Giants. Is we gonna actually make the right choice, either Gardner Minshew or Jalen Hurts? I feel like one I got mixed feelings with it. One hand, I feel like Jalen should start. The other hand, I feel like he should sit down to be sure. But it's so hard, like because you gotta really trust in Minshew to actually get that win, And I believe Minshew, he did great, he did decent last game, but he left some points, he left some things out on the field, and our offense, is different when the running game is don't come into play. It's a really difference, and that's what's the two difference between Gardner Minshew and Jalen Hurts. I feel like Gardner Minshew he's a good passer. He just got to get in his rhythm, and his accuracy was a little bit off. He was high low and throwing the balls, but he made up for it in a lot of plays, especially going to that second half. But he's still decent. He's still good, so he still have a chance of really winning against the Saints. But when you're not a quarterback is known for running, because a lot of people are always talking about running quarterbacks and always coming down, oh, running. But sometimes you need to do that. That pocket, being in the pocket, being that pocket passer, it's cool enough because you got to know how to pass. That's the number one important thing when it comes to the quarterback is can you pass that ball? But it shouldn't stop there. Just because you know how to pass and you're a real good passer, that shouldn't stop there. Sometimes you gotta know how to make a play. You gotta use your skills. That's what skills is. What can you offer? What can you bring when you dropping back, but the defense is doing real good and the receivers just can't get open in that play. And then the pressure is coming. What you gonna do? Is you gonna just be one of those pocket passes, just gonna sit there and then take a sack, or just gonna sit there and throw the ball away, and then now you still now you second and 10, and then you do it again. Now you third and 10. Now you third and long. Instead of getting positive yardage, no matter if it's 4 yards, it's 5 yards, you moving a change, and that's what it comes to. It like a lot of people want to stay on these running quarterbacks, like because this new generation is starting to understand, it's different now, you gotta move. You can't just sit there like deer in the headlights. You got to get out of there sometimes. Like, you can have a good offensive line that know how to block real well, but sometimes dealing with certain matchups in certain games, some offensive line could drop a tank. Like they could just end up getting tired, or somebody could go out for that play or whatever, and then next thing you know, that pressure is coming. Can you roll out? Can you extend the plays, and can you move with your feet? Gardner Minshew did a little bit of that. I'm not gonna hold. He roll out. I saw a couple of plays. He roll out. And he passed it. But sometimes when you roll out and you don't see nobody open, you gotta get positive yardage. Do he have that footwork to actually get those positive yardage when he rolling out of the pocket and going? I didn't see enough of that, dealing with the Cowboys game. I saw when he tried to run and he only picked up like 2 yards or whatever, and because he ain't had that speed or that footwork. But he still got, he still made some types of plays with it. But it just when you dealing with a dynamic quarterback knows, and that's his skills of running, and he could get out of pockets and get more than 4 to 5 yardage. That helps the offense a lot, because then that helps your offensive lineman, because now they're not getting all that tired, because they don't have to constantly keep blocking, dropping back, blocking. They know that you can roll out, run, make a positive yardage. That gives your wide receivers time to get open, because now you moving the chains, and now that's keeping the defense off their toes. They gotta realize, like, this quarterback, he's getting them yardage. I gotta worry about him. But at the same time, you got the running back that you gotta worry about too. Now that's opening up holes, that's stopping the pressure coming, because now they don't want to, because sometimes certain blitz could cause a good run. So now they don't want to come in too much. It makes them think. And when the defense is thinking too much, is a lot of time consuming. And then a lot of time consuming give the quarterback enough time to throw that ball and find a person and find a wide receivers. But if if you ain't doing that, they wasn't basing. I'm saying, like, when we played the Cowboys, they really wasn't scared of Gardner Minshew running. They was focused on Miles Sanders. Why you think he couldn't really get the run? They was like, we're not running by, even if he get a little opening, he's not gonna get far, you know. and that's what it is. Well, what's going on, Brian Turner? I see you. Yeah, yep. They definitely they gonna see us when the playoffs. It's gonna be a totally different thing when the playoffs come when it comes to Jalen Hurts. Thanks for the comment. Like and Yo, is really is. They gonna see how the offense really gonna move. If to be honest, that sounds like a good. A lot of people wants that Cowboys and Eagles game for the championship, that the NFC Championship game. Yeah, and a lot of people want that because that game. Don't get me wrong, the game was one of the best for rivals games last week, and I think that will be a very another good matchup to actually see that actually come to because I don't think after this season we might not get to see who really is the guy against Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts because we haven't had that matchup and I really would want that matchup even if we doesn't win, which I believe we have a more of a percentage to win. But even if we don't win, I still would want to see that because I know it's gonna be a good game. But they would see that it's a totally different offense when he's in there. Like because that run game, they got it. Yo, Cowboys. That's why you think when he was the first game we played with them, even though Dak wasn't in it, but we just talking about playing the quarterback playing against the defense. You know, that's they couldn't. It was off their toes. They didn't know which they if Jalen was going to roll out and get those yardage, or if Miles Sanders was going to do it, or not even Miles. You got Gainwell, you got Boston Scott. You know they are really good running backs too. So you they had to really they had to really respect Hurts when it comes to his footwork, and that's to show you the dynamic and the different outsets that he has, and that's why he should be the quarterback, and he should continue going on with him when it comes to that because of it's a whole new offense. The offense is different when he's there, the leadership and what he brings to the table. Now, you know, I know a lot of these Gardner Minshew fans, and they looking for a reason to shut down Jalen Hurts and talk about Gardner Minshew because of whatever they reason. Don't know if it's a racial, don't know if it's just a fan thing or something personal. I don't know, but they have to look at the facts and they have to look at reality, what it really is, instead of looking at as a fan aspect. Because I love Jalen Hurts, I'm a fan, but I'm also an Eagles fan, you know, and I look at what is the aspect. If Jalen Hurts wasn't that quarterback and Gardner Minshew, I'll give a hands up and be like, you know, Gardner Minshew, like that's yeah. Jalen Hurts gotta sit down, you know. Gardner Minshew came in, he doing his thing, but you cannot deny what's is actually going on. It took 16 weeks to actually throw two interceptions that really was his fault. Like he had five the whole season, but two interceptions that really was his fault. It took him 16 weeks. Like you have to really look at that. But Gardner Minshew come in on his first game to an interception that he should never have through, you know, and you have to look at the difference of what it is of experience and leadership than a person that needs to get that going. You know, now if Gardner Minshew is in the game, I'm pretty sure because he's still, like I said, he's a good quarterback. But if he's in that game, he'll probably find his flow. But we don't want to risk wait until he find that flow. We want a quarterback that already got it because you know Jalen Hurts perfecting his craft and he got that now. So um but that's just to the point of the difference between them two and what I look at. But going to the whole point of should he start next week against the Saints and you know against the Saints the following week, I don't know. It's really hard. I can't answer that because I want him to because I want this win for we could get the home field advantage and number one seed, but I do want him to rest to make sure he's 100%. Um, I could trust that Gardner Minshew could come out with a win against the Saints because I mean you can't. you have to respect the Saints, even though the Saints is not how they used to, but you have to still kind of respect their defense to a extent. But their defense is beatable. Like, if we come with a good game plan, if Gardner Minshew, have his accuracy a little bit more better, and they come with a game plan for the run could get started, even though they got Gardner Minshew in, they figure out a different type of running scheme or something, then we could take that game against the Saints with Gardner Minshew. Is it's a long, I won't say so much a long shot. It's kind of close of a long shot, but it really could happen with him. But is it going to see? The difference is, I'm for sure if they put Jalen Hurts in, I'm for sure we're gonna win against the Saints. I'm 100% for sure, and that's a win for sure, and that's to solidify our win for the playoffs, so we could get the home field advantage. I know that for sure. With Gardner Minshew, it's a chance now. It's not a for sure, but it's a good chance that we could win. So it's like, can we risk it losing the Saints game, and then now it comes down to the Giants game. And like I said, usually the last game of the season, we usually sits our starters down and put our backups in, and we lose the Giants game, we not getting nothing. Like, and that gives the Cowboys the chance to be that. And I don't want that. So it's really hard. I want Jalen to sit down, but I want him to play next week. We'll see. We'll leave it up to the coach and see what they do. If they make the right decision, and then that's what they job for. That's what they get paid for, to make those decisions. So I'm hoping that the coach see what he got in his locker room, and what he got in the field, or with his players and his playbook and everything. Hopefully he'll put up a good game plan. If they do put Gardner Minshew in, hopefully his game plan would be flawless, and he come up with a good scheme against the Saints, next week. So we could get this win, and we could get that week, that our home field advantage, and then make our playoffs a little bit more easier, in a chance. Now, if we doesn't get it, I still think we can still win. Because how our team is doing, how Jalen's doing, how our wide receivers is doing. Our defense had a little bad game last week, but our defense could pull through. We still good. But I'm more confident of what our offense is doing, and our offense is really putting up points, and we really putting up 20. So I don't think we was below 20, not one game this season. Like, if I am, put in the comments and let me know that I'm wrong. But as far as my knowledge, I don't think not one game we was below 20. So we putting up points, and that's really important. So even if we doesn't get home field advantage and gets the number one seed, I still have a good chance that we could win the playoff through, and go into the Super Bowl and win it. But it's just up to what type of schemes and game plan they're gonna come when it comes to the certain teams. We don't know what teams we're gonna play. If we playing this team, but that's another subject that we're gonna get to, on what team that we feel more threatening and feel like will give us the more of a problem going to the playoff. And we come up with we'll have another podcast, me and my bro. We're gonna come and give y'all ideas of what we're gonna do going towards the playoffs when it gets ready to start. But for now, I just feel comfortable that we got this, we can handle this. But when it comes to these next two games, when it comes to dealing with Jalen Hurts' shoulders, with the Saints, if he gonna play or not, I leave that to the coach. It's so hard for me to choose, because I want that last win, but I do want Jalen Hurts to get his rest, and I really want him to get 100%. Hopefully he 100%, because he is more important in the playoffs. But I do want that win though. So hopefully, if they do set him down, Gardner Minshew come in. Hopefully they got a game plan. Hopefully, Gardner Minshew, he have a way more better game than he had. He had a good game, but we need him to do way more better, on this game. And I believe that he could do it. Because, like I said, I like Gardner Minshew. Like, even though I compared him to Jalen Hurts, but I like Gardner Minshew. I like him coming in, stepping up, and doing good for being in the backup and actually putting up points and actually collab off of his mistakes. Like he did mistakes, but he came back and made a good play, and that's what is a good thing. So he had very good potential, very good aspects, but I just need him to step it up a little bit more, and hopefully the Saints, if they put him in, he'll show it in this game. And yeah, for all our Philly fans and the Eagles fans, he get that dub for us and get that win, and we have something good to go into the playoffs. He get that win next week. They put him in. We don't really have to worry about the Giants game. We already know everything is comfortable. So you, that's just basically what it. You know, I'm feel comfortable. I still feel no matter what overall when it comes to the Saints game, I still feel comfortable. But we gonna see what's gonna happen. So that was just a little conversation I wanted to know between Gardner Minshew and Jalen Hurts. If you wanna, we're gonna get later this week. We're gonna talk more about how we feel what's gonna come into the Saints game when we play. So just stay tuned in. Thanks for thanks again from Brian Turner for your comments and for your opinion. So stay tuned. We're gonna come with another podcast. Give your thoughts, your ideas or what you feel about going into the Saints or feel about between Gardner Minshew or Jalen Hurts down in the comment. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. This your boy Young Jers, hyphen Eagles. I'm out.